And now, hello, welcome. You're watching KBC Channel 1. This is Lunchtime News. You are on time for the newscast. My name is Giverson Maina. Now start interacting with us at KBC TV at Giverson Maina. Lunchtime News begins right now. Now, the National Industrial Training Authority, NITA, is imploring the youth, especially those in the riparian counties, to actively pursue skills development by the authority to enable them harness the opportunities in the blue economy space. NITA manager in charge of Kisumu Center, Joel Barua, who spoke on the sidelines of the ongoing Madaraka Day precursor activities in Homa Bay, said that a blue economy harbors immense opportunities that the youth need to tap for their own economic prospects. Barua further challenged the youth to focus on carving their own job prospects instead of pursuing elusive white-collar jobs.
We want to work with other agencies like the ministry that was represented by the minister here to ensure that we establish the gaps. Then we sensitize the youth in appreciating what is it that blue economy is able to do in their lives. I want to call upon the youth, the young men and women in this country, that it's high time they need to do things that will be able to keep them busy on their own, not necessarily pursuing employment in companies, in other organizations, the things that are able to give them hands-on skills.
And away from that, the government is rolling out an elaborate program for blue economy meant to build the capacity of the fisherfolk in the riparian counties to improve their economic prospects as well as boost fish production in the country. The program entails issuance of approved fishing gears and civic education for the fishing community. Cabinet Secretary for Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs, Ali Hassan Joho, while distributing assorted fishing gears and surveillance boats in Migori County on Thursday, reiterated the government's commitment to improving the fishing value chain. Wycliffe Okech accompanied the CS and filed the following report.
In the run-up to the Blue Economy-themed Madaraka Day celebrations in Homa Bay on Sunday, CS Hassan Joho on Thursday continued the distribution of assorted fishing gear to the fisherfolk in Muhuru Bay and Kotkachola, both in Nyatike constituency in Migori County. This included, among other things, fingerlings, fish feeds, cages and surveillance boats for emergency response.
Ile kitu sisi tunafanya kama serikali. Saa hii nimetoka hapa nikiamua Kotkachola hapa kwamba kuna watu wanahitaji neti, nimeshika hiyo. Mimi naenda kutafuta neti mzuri niwaletee. Hapa leo tumeleta hizi cages. Tumeleta cages hapa hii leo ni 25 cages. Na fingerlings za kutosha. Na chakula ya kutosha.
In the spirit of the Madaraka Day celebrations theme, which inspires maximum harnessing of the blue economy potential, Joho said his ministry is upscaling the focus on educating the fisherfolk on modern fishing methods to weed out illegal fishing practices.
Mimi nataka niwaambie watu ya serikali yangu ambaye mimi niko ndani. Kabla ufunze mtu net mzuri, kabla ufunze mtu kupata net mzuri ama umsaidie kupata net mzuri, huwezi sumbua yeye. Tumeelewana hapo?
This, Joho says, is all geared towards growing the fishing value chain for improved fish production in the country.
Every cage takes 33,000. Umeelewa hiyo? Na tumeleta na chakula. Baada ya kuleta chakula, watu watabadilisha maisha, si ndio? But we have to continue to support you so you continue to prosper and change your life. Sina hiyo?
Na sisi kama watu wa Migori County na sana sana kama serikali ya Migori County tuko na shukran sana. We are very grateful for the partnership and the support that we are receiving from the national government.
Regarding the perennial harassment of the Kenyan fishers by their counterparts from the neighboring Uganda, the fishing community in Migori implored upon the government to negotiate with the Ugandan authorities to allow for common use of the fishing areas in Lake Victoria, owing to the dwindling fish stocks.
Our neighboring security from Uganda and Tanzania keep frustrating and torturing our fishermen, hindering their work. Please, you can help up there.
The truth is, the lake we have is smaller than our demand. I want to request your office, can we get a better way to partner with our neighbors so that they allow us to access their waters without any threat?
Ile matakwa yote ambayo BMUT amesema na pia yenye waheshimiwa amesema, kazi yetu tuta make sure we make it happen within the shortest time possible. Tunarudi hapa tena tuwaletee maendeleo.
For Channel 1 from Migori County, I am Wycliffe Rokich.
Now we go to Kiambu County, where 2 people died on the spot last evening after being hit by a truck while attempting to cross the busy Rironi James Gishuru Road along the Nakuru Highway in Gitaru, Kiambu County. Confirming the incident, the Kikuyu Sub-County Police Commander Joseph Ndege said the 2 victims, who are sisters, were attempting to cross the highway at an undesignated spot when the accident occurred. He urged pedestrians and road users to exercise caution and use safe areas to cross the busy highway. The bodies of the deceased were taken to the Goto mortuary awaiting post-mortem.
Unfortunately, there was a bit of confusion because when the lady and the child were trying to evade the lorry, and the lorry did its best to evade these 2. Unfortunately, they came crashing. We lost them. It's very saddening, but we are doing our best to ensure that such scenarios are tamed, the earlier the better. It is important to know that this highway is still under construction, and in this regard, therefore, the main precautions that which are supposed to be there are yet to be put. We are talking of road markings, rubble strips, barriers where they are required, and therefore the drivers and the pedestrians who are intending to cross over this road, they should do so with the precaution.
Now away from Kiambu to County 001, Mombasa. A section of small-scale women traders in Mombasa County is being empowered to grow their businesses through value addition and better market access thanks to efforts by the collaboration of women in development. The initiative seeks to elevate grassroots traders from local markets to global entrepreneurs.
In the heart of Mombasa County, women traders like Christine Lekamale are turning tradition into trade, but high bread prices and dwindling tourist numbers have impacted their sales. Collaboration of Women in Development, CIWD, has stepped in to provide market linkages, funding and training to support women-owned business.
Nimepata kujifunza mengi kuhusu hii mkutano wa leo. Ningeomba tu watushike mkono pia kama Masai community wa mama, tupate hata ile pesa ambayo tunaweza kujiendeleza. Manaka kusema kweli ile beats tunafanya kununua ikiwa very expensive, na saa ingine tunapungukiwa na hizo beats, unakosa hata pesa ya kushonea, ya kununua ndo ukuje ushone.
Dina Otieno from Kimbeni has expanded into organic farming and livestock rearing with CIWD's help.
Nashukuru sana collaboration of women in development for the empowerment. Most people wali believe agriculture haiwezekani in Mombasa sababu ya the weather conditions. Sasa huko tumefuga ng'ombe, kuku, bata, mbuzi, kondoo, na tunauza maziwa, chakula ya kienyeji juu watu wengi siku hizi unapata hawapendi vyakula vya dukani sababu ya chemicals mingi.
Rashida Akinya, deaf entrepreneur, runs a knitting business in the Central Business District, but communication barriers remain a challenge.
I do knitting for different people, ladies, and even for men, making different caps. At the same time, I've been there for almost like 8 years, but we have challenges. In our business, that is always up and down. At some point, that is communication barrier. As a deaf person, maybe there's some people may not be able to understand me even as I do the business.
With the 3rd Public Leadership Conference set for November this year in Mombasa, CIWD is preparing to showcase the women's work to international donors and investors.
In November, we will be having a conference here, and this will be the 3rd Public feminist leadership conference that is going to bring different countries all over the world.
Julius Ogina, reporting for Channel 1.
Now we take you to Homa Bay County, where our reporter is on standby. Simon Achola, the president, is there, of course, accompanied by former Prime Minister, launching quite a number of programs ahead of the Madaraka Day to be celebrated on Sunday. What do we know so far? Simon Achola.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you very much, Giverson. Indeed, the president is in Homa Bay County, and as we speak right now, he's actually at the newly constructed Homa Bay Pier, where he is actually officially launching that particular pier, and then from there he'll be heading straight to town, where he is expected to launch another market. No, before he gets to town, he'll actually be launching a nearby market that has actually been installed with state-of-the-art cooling plant for fisher ladies that are actually operating there, and it's also a newly constructed market for fisher ladies that are actually operating at that particular place. And then, of course, from there he will be going straight to town, where he'll also be launching another market. Of course, in the process, also talking to members of the public that have actually gathered in various parts of this particular county for the purposes of actually listening to the president, of course, as he goes about his activities in this particular county, and more so in this region. Remember, the president actually arrived here the day before yesterday, and then, of course, yesterday the main activity was that of actually launching the affordable housing in Kisumu County, and of course giving out those that have actually been constructed. And today, of course, attending a Blue Economic Conference that is actually going on here at Tomboya University. And of course, a number of issues touching on blue economy, and more specifically on Lake Victoria, being discussed by various leaders who actually graced this particular occasion. Key among them, the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, the host Governor Gladys Wanga, and of course a number of other leaders that are actually directly involved with the fishing sector in this particular region. And one key issue that has actually come out strongly is the issue of privatization of the sector in terms of the privatization of landing sites, and of course just involving the private sector in the exploitation of the blue economy. And President, of course, talking to the fact that this particular economy has been underutilized in terms of generating revenue for the country. And he says that this country is actually just doing about 30 billion shillings each year. And of course, he says that can actually go up to 300 to 500 billion shillings each year. And of course, those are some of the reforms that the president, of course, the speakers who've actually been talking in this particular conference have been alluding to, and of course, asking the president and the government to ensure that indeed they can actually do so. So I'll just let in, so then you can actually get to listen in on the president as he speaks on the other side.
You know, that's Simon Achola, our very own in Homa Bay County. But I'm told the president is currently addressing. He's right there in Homa Bay County. He's supposed to be there to launch various projects ahead of the Sunday's Madaraka Day. Take a listen.
Wajengee barabara, tuunganishe stima, tupange hii mambo ya baya na biashara yenu. Mnasema Homa Bay ibadilike na sehemu hii ibadilike na Kenya isonge mbele. Hebu nione wanasema tuendelee na hiyo kazi. Basi, kwa sababu viongozi ni wengi, sawa sawa, mimi tu nataka niwaombe, kwa sababu mimi na baba tumekubaliana tutaunganisha taifa letu la Kenya. Hakuna jamii itawachwa nyuma, hakuna sehemu ya Kenya itawachwa nyuma. Tutazima ukabila, tutamaliza chuki, tutahakikisha kwamba wale watu wa kisirani na hasira hawatapata nafasi, ndio Kenya hii iweze kwenda mbele. Jameni, mtatuunga mkono tuendelee kuunganisha Kenya? Mnasema tuunganishe Kenya? Wale majamaa wa ukabila na kisirani na hasira na chuki wanatuambia tuendelee na siasa ya chuki na ukabila mfululizo. Sisi tunawaambia tuko na kazi ya kufanya kwa Wakenya. na hiyo kazi haihitaji makelele, haihitaji chuki, haihitaji ukabila, haihitaji hasira. Ndio tunawaambia ni kazi bila break. Watu wa Homa Bay mnasemaje? Kazi bila break. 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 Baba amesema ya kwamba tuunganishe taifa letu la Kenya na tuhakikisha kwamba hakuna sehemu ya Kenya inawachwa nyuma. Kwa hivyo asanteni sana. Wacha nimuite Baba Raila Amolo Odinga ili aweze kutuzungumzia Homa Bay.
Haya. 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 Jothurwa. Umar. Jothurwa Umar. Jothurwa Will. Jasego Uchiek. 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 Kumurwa kowendo. Kun. Munachopa sego kaune wanga. Kama wantie ni chone miligoe.
Ruto right there, and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga addressing Kenyans in Homa Bay County. Be sure to catch the detailed story of the report in our subsequent bulletin at, of course, 7 and 9 p.m. And now, away from that, the National Counter-Terrorism Center, in collaboration with the Global Counter-Terrorism Focus East Africa Capacity Building Working Group, has concluded a 5-day motivational disengagement training for security officers. The training that was co-hosted by Kenya and Kuwait seeks to enhance the skills of security practitioners in the reception, screening, and assessment of individuals disengaging from violent extremist groups. The two cohorts emphasize the need to empower members states not only with the tools to identify risks, but also multilateral platforms to exchange knowledge and experience.
The conclusion of the motivational disengagement training for security officers came amidst calls from the co-hosting nations Kenya and Kuwait for insights and skills necessary to protect their communities from both global and local threats. The participants were taken through the Kenyan model of motivational disengagement, which emphasizes self-awareness and appreciative communication, all aimed at assisting the target person to disengage from violent extremism.
It is imperative for the trainees to take back this knowledge and skills and tailor-make their own DDRR programs to suit the needs of the countries in the areas of disengagement.
Since the program inception in 2018, over 1,200 individuals have been repatriated through Kuwait.
Kenya and Kuwait hailing the training born out of the thematic workshop on disengagement, de-radicalization, rehabilitation and reintegration, terming it a pivotal contribution to one of the 5 strategic priorities set forth by the East Africa Working Group for the 2024-2026 Working Plan.
And we're introducing them to soft power approach of disengagement. And we're not transforming them overnight to be disengagement officers, because disengagement takes time, and more training should come into play so that we can build them to be strong disengagement officers.
The state of Kuwait remains committed to supporting a capacity building through the East Africa Working Group.
National Counter-Terrorism Center Director Kibiego Kigan further imploring the trainees to use the skills gained during the workshop in collaboration with allied nations to further the fight against terror. Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
A school's greening campaign targeting institutions within northern Kenya's Ewaso Nyiro catchment area has been launched at Liki Comprehensive School in Laikipia County in an effort to restore the ecosystem and build resilience against climate-related challenges. The campaign, spearheaded by a non-governmental organization, MERTI, Integrated Development Program, in partnership with national government agencies, has brought on board primary schools in the counties of Samburu, Isiolo, Meru, Laikipia and Nyeri. The initiative focuses on promoting integration of 3 key sectors: that is water, energy and smart agriculture, to benefit 15 million people within the Ewaso Nyiro catchment basin.
We've received about 400 fruit trees and 600 wood rods trees, which have been planted within the school. And this one, I think, is a boost to us because we have a target as a sub-count and a count. We know we are supposed to, we have a target of 15 billion, the entire country, and we have a portion. And this is a way now boosting us to reduce our target.
We have started this, we have already completed this in Isiolo, and today we are completing here in Laikipia. And next week we'll be in Samburu.
This is one of the very good projects which will make a difference for our country because, you know, Ewaso Nyiro catchment supports over 15 million people.
Now, a section of Kilifi leaders allied to Governor Gideon Mung'aro has accused Kenyan Roads Board chairperson Aisha Juma of meddling in the county affairs. Speaking in Gilore, Malindi MP Amina Mnyazi and Sheila MCA Twahir Abdul Karim accused the former cabinet secretary of abandoning her role to undermine the governor. The leaders urged Juma to focus her energy on improving the country's roads.
Nataka kuambia wale wapinzani wetu ambao kwamba walipewa kazi ya kwanza na William Ruto ya kuwa waziri wa kina mama na mipangilio ya kijamii, mambo ya women empowerment, na hakuna lolote la maana ambalo kwamba lilionekana limefanyika. Amekuwa mbunge, amekuwa waziri, na sasa nakuja kutufundisha ni nini ambayo inatakana kufanywa. Kwa hivyo nataka kusema ya kwamba hii maneno ya kudanganywa imefika mwisho. Tushirikiane ili tuone ya kwamba tunakusaidia mheshimiwa ili maendeleo yaweze kuendelea hapa Gilore na Kilifi kwa jumla.
Na moja ya sababu kwa nini mheshimiwa gavana wewe ndio umekalia hiki kiti kama rais wa jimbo ni kwa sababu ya ule utendakazi wako ambao unaofanyia watu wako wa Kilifi. Sasa yule ambaye yuko nje hajui maana ya kuwa gavana ni nini, anapiga mdomo na kupiga makelele, sisi tutamwachia kazi hiyo.
Now we change focus to health matters now. 2 patients at Kagundo Level 4 Hospital in Machakos County have tested positive for the monkeypox virus and have been placed in isolation. Hospital Medical Superintendent Juliet Munyao said that the patients who exhibited symptoms last Friday were promptly isolated as samples were taken for further testing. Kagundo Sub-County Public Health Officer Frederick Kimemia has urged residents to remain vigilant and adhere to preventive health measures to curb the spread of the virus.
Virus disease. We got them on Friday, and immediately our team got into effect, did the necessary tests, took to Nairobi, and the tests were confirmed yesterday that they are mpox positive.
Ni kweli kwamba tuko na wagonjwa wawili hapa Kangundo Level 4 Hospital ambao wako na mpox, na ile ningesema ni kwamba ukipata dalili ambayo mwili yako iko na joto mingi, umepata rashes ambazo zinatokea uzaha, na pia kuna kuvimba kwa lymph nodes ambazo hizo dalili hizo ndio meja ambazo unaangalia kwanza, alafu unasikia mwili umechoka kama mtu ako na malaria ama vitu kama hizo.
Now, learning activities were paralyzed at Arabuko Sokoke Primary in Kilifi County after irate parents stormed the school demanding an immediate removal of the school head teacher, citing poor school management. The parents described the head teacher as incompetent attributing the school's poor performance to his leadership. They further claimed that since his arrival, he has failed to work collaboratively with the community in managing the school.
Kila kukicha matokeo yanazidi kuzorotesha. Hilo ni jambo la kwanza. Jambo la pili, watoto wetu hawajakuwa registered kwa ile portal. Kwa hivyo watoto wetu ni kama anawapotosha. Tuko tunalipa pesa hapa, lakini pesa ya wazazi hatuioni. Pesa ya wazazi inatumika vibaya. Walimu hawalipi mishahara yao. Walimu wa PTA hawalipi mishahara. Hizi pesa zinaenda wapi?
Mzazi akitaka kujua chenye kinaendelea shule hana uwazi. Tukijua nini pesa zenye zimetolewa na wazazi wajue ni pesa ngapi, hataki kueleza.
That story from Cliffy County takes us to a short commercial break, but don't go too far. So much more lined up for you. Now welcome back. You're watching Lunchtime News. My name is Giverson, Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Bairo Buli. I beg your pardon. Now, police in Malili along the Machakos-Makueni County border are holding 3 suspects in connection with the theft of livestock in the area. Police paraded 39 livestock believed to have been stolen from villages in the region, some of which were identified by their owners who gathered at the police station. Residents call for enhanced security in the area, even as they accused some police officers of failing to avert crime.
Kuna wizi wa ng'ombe umekita mizizi hapa kwetu, na kutoka Jumapili sisi hatujalala kwa sababu wezi walitufamia usiku, wakaenda na ng'ombe, nasemekana walibeba kwa gari, na kutoka hiyo siku tukashikana tukiwa na OCS wa Malili na tumefuata, na jana Mungu akatujalia tumepata hao ng'ombe wale walibebwa, na tunaomba hii ushirikiano wetu pamoja na polisi tushikane hii Malili division yote tuzuie wizi wa mali yetu.
Nilipoteza ng'ombe kama miezi 2 imepita. Ng'ombe mmoja alikuwa na mimba, na sasa nashukuru kwa sababu nimeipata, ambapo sijaona mtoto wake, lakini nimeona ng'ombe mwenyewe.
Now, the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers in Samburu County branch has threatened to mobilize members to go on strike if 158 teachers whose names were removed from the promotion list by the Teachers Service Commission are not reinstated. Led by Samburu Kupet Executive Secretary William Lengoyab, the members also protested the declassification of Samburu County from the list of hardship areas.
We will ask the TC to reinstate the 158 teachers because they have gained and earned these promotions with merit. You cannot be told to do an interview traveling all along from your area, home area, and then after 1 month, you are told the interview was not done properly.
We feel unfairly targeted, we feel discriminated, and we feel that the Commission does not appreciate what the teachers from Samburu County are doing. We therefore request that the Commission reinstates those are the names of the teachers that were dropped.
It is unfair to remove Samburu as an hardship area. Those people who have done that are people who live in Nairobi. They have never stepped Baragoi. They have never been to Waso. They don't know what teachers in those areas are going through. It is wrong. They should be asking us how these areas are.
Learners from Nairobi Sub-County and Kajiado North Sub-County had a unique opportunity to shape their future, courtesy of a two-day career pathway forum held at the Cooperative University of Kenya. The forum, organized by education stakeholders, had mentors and experts to guide students on making informed career choices in today's fast-changing world. Speaking during the forum, Marketing Society of Kenya chairperson Zuhura Odhiambo and Linton's academy lead Alice Waithaka urged the high school learners to chart a clear opportunity pathway to benefit from emerging opportunities.
We never had opportunities like this, but them being able to hear about their career early and knowing that they have the power to choose the career that they love is actually going to make them not go through all that we went through. We're equipping the future leaders, we're equipping them on their career path.
There is opportunity in beauty. There is a huge career growth in beauty. And these are all vast career paths that they can take up, and there are short courses that they can do even after their schooling.
Learning beauty and cosmetics is something that has inspired me in a lot of ways. And for me, what I would like to do is being a dermatologist, and also this can also help me at least get some skills on what to do in future.
More than 800 youth in Busia County who underwent training in construction have received a certification from the National Construction Authority, marking a major step toward unlocking unemployment opportunities for skilled young people. The training, sponsored by the Office of the Busia County Woman Representative, was aimed at empowering youth by formalizing their construction skills and enhancing their access to jobs across the country. During the issuance of the certificates at the Matayos Vocational Training Institute, Busia County Woman Representative Catherine Omanyo highlighted the importance of recognizing and validating the skills of young people who have previously operated without formal credentials.
Na ujuzi, lakini saa zingine wakienda mahali kutafuta kazi hawakukuwa na cheti certificate ile iko accredited na National Construction Authority. Kwa hivyo wanachukuliwa advantage of because hawana certificate na wanalipwa duni. Wengi hata wakienda ku apply tender hawapati kwa sababu hawana certificate.
Kwa wakati mingi tunapata kwamba majengo yanaanguka kwa sababu hawa vijana hawaelewi mambo ya safety. Namshukuru mheshimiwa kwa sababu tayari play your role hata kununua hizi safety gear inasaidia katika construction.
Sukuma, leta mchanga, leta nini, suta mawe, hiyo ndo kazi sisi tunafanya. Lakini tunashukuru mama ametuletea certificate. Sasa kuanzia saa hizi tunaanza kutembea kama engineer na certificate.
Wanakuja kujenga hapo affordable houses. We are the one with this certificate ambao wako hapa ndio wenye tunatarajika kukua pale na tupate hiyo kazi na tufanye.
Now, ever wondered what the elderly go through when they are neglected by their kin? The film Halfway, Half Open Window gives insights into these through experiences of an elderly man. Here now is the review of Half Open Window in our weekly segment, Cinemas and Theatre, with our very own Jacqueline Masharia.
I'm scared, Martha. Akili yangu imekuwa kama mchanga.
Half Open Window follows a retired photographer who, after being diagnosed with dementia, his newly found bond with his unemployed graduate grandchild is threatened. This is after his children decide to enroll him in an old folks' home, Jumba la Wazee.
Option 2. You go to a country and find the title deed.
People should have decency towards like the aging community, the aging, like the old people. We just need to see them as people, and we need to care for them and make sure that they are not just healthy, but they're also happy and they feel fulfilled and they feel welcome and they feel loved in the society and they don't feel neglected.
Directed by Omar Hamza and produced by Margaret Washera, the film Half Open Window was differently casted, with the normal calls for auditions not part of the casting process. The production was a success despite shooting in a cold location.
Normal times we call for auditions and we tell people to send in auditions, but for this one it needed a lot of, to be a bit keen on who it is we were casting.
The main character, Edwin Nyudo, is a very old person. So working with a very old veteran in the industry and a very old actor was interesting to say the least. He's the oldest person I've ever worked with, and again, a very huge learning experience, a very huge moment for growth, both for me and hopefully for him as well.
It has been slipping away. Soon, hakutakuwa na kitu chochote.
I think it's an interesting time to be an African filmmaker because there's a lot of change, there's a lot of opportunities, and for those who are ready, change is coming, and good change, yeah.
What the mind can't remember, the heart never forgets. Jacqueline Masharia for Cinemas and Theatre.
And now it's time for business time to make sense of the shilling. Now, the Kenya National Trading Corporation has rolled out an initiative to mop up rice from local farmers to protect them from imports. Agriculture and Food Authority Director General Dr. Bruno Linyiru says the National Treasury will release 500 million Kenyan shillings to procure the rice from local farmers who will be paid 1 month after delivering the grain to the Kenya National Trading Corporation.
The government says rice importation will continue to cover the current deficit despite protests from local farmers. Agriculture and Food Authority says Kenya produced only 191,000 metric tons of milled rice in the 2024-2025 season, enough to last the country 2 months.
In a month's time, we are to harvest what is already in the field, the 32,000 acres. This is what we have as stocks. That was on our worry in the management. Where are we going to take the other harvest?
We import 80%, slightly over 80% of what is required for our feeding, because we produce about 125,000 metric tons, and which the whole year, which can only feed us about a month.
The Kenya National Trading Corporation is set to purchase 5,000 metric tons of rice from local farmers.
We want to assure them that the rice that is available will all be bought by Kenya National Trading Corporation, and that payments will be due as per the agreement with the corporation, and they will be without undue delay.
Here to assure you that we'll get orders, we'll mill the rice, and we'll offtake it and market it on behalf of the government.
A multi-agency team has been set up to start a crackdown on retailers repackaging imported rice and branding it as local rice.
Later, we have also noticed concerns raised by the society, and we also know this could be true, that there are few unscrupulous traders who could be packaging rice, imported rice, to make it look like the basmati rice or the pishori rice that we have in Mwea. We will be cracking down on this to ensure that you package rice to present what you actually have imported, so that you do not give unfair competition to our rice farmer.
Kenya targets to reduce rice imports by half by increasing the land under irrigation in key rice schemes. Benson Rioba reporting for Lunchtime News.
Now, as security threats continue to rise nationwide, 2 computer science students at Zitech University have developed a smart gate-powered security system. The innovation by Kelvin Mutungwa and Ian Cheriot integrates a facial recognition, smart sensors, and a centralized control system to restrict unauthorized access and alert authorities instantly.
Kevin Mutungwa and Ian Cheriot, who are computer science students at Zetech University, have developed an advanced security system that uses artificial intelligence and Internet of Things. The system integrates facial recognition with smart sensors and a centralized control system in such a way that when a person approaches the gate, the system scans their face, matches it against a database, and either grants or denies access based on preset parameters.
Our system uses facial recognition to ensure secure access into premises like government facilities, corporate institutions, and many other facilities. We also have facial license plate recognition that scans the license plates of cars and match makes the data with data from the database to ensure secure access.
According to Mutungwa, the system is still at the prototype stage and has great potential, but progress has been limited by funding challenges.
We are still prototyping on the application, but it's 95% complete, and we are looking for secure funding to get hardware and still work on the software.
He says the system has the ability to collect, process, and store critical data, which can be used for tracking suspicious activities, identifying suspects, or even analyzing traffic patterns in and out of a location.
To access a certain premise, it will be able to scan your face and look for similarities in the database. And if you're already a staff and you had your face registered, you'll be able to gain access to the premise.
Sylvia Gatti, reporting for Lunchtime News.
And content creators and other players within the digital economy are likely to benefit from reduced tax if the Finance Bill 2025 that has proposed to halve the digital asset tax rate from 3% to 1.5% is passed in the current form. The lower rate signals a shift in the fiscal policy aimed at encouraging compliance and attracting investment in the growing digital and fintech space.
The digital asset tax, introduced under the Finance Act 2023, targets income derived from the transfer or exchange of digital assets, including cryptocurrencies, tokenized assets, and other blockchain-based innovations. However, those in the digital space had raised concerns that the 3% tax was too steep, deterring participation in the market and pushing many transactions to informal platforms. Under the proposed changes in the Finance Bill 2025, the tax rate could be reduced to 1.5%. This is expected to ease the tax burden on individuals and companies engaged in digital asset transactions and nurture emerging technologies rather than overregulate them in their infancy. Analysts say for Kenyans earning from the digital platforms such as NFT art, crypto trading, or blockchain-based gig work, the reduced tax could help legitimize their earnings and bring them into the formal economy.
On the international front, we take you to our neighboring country, Uganda, which is targeting to set up nuclear plants that will start generating electricity by the year 2031. Uganda has signed a site evaluation study for a new nuclear power plant with Korea Hydro and Nuclear Power to kickstart the process. Here are the details of these and other stories making headlines across the borders.
The Ugandan government targets to construct 6 pressurized water reactor nuclear units with a total capacity of 8,400 megawatts at the site by 2040. Uganda has taken its first step toward nuclear power by signing a site evaluation contract for a new nuclear power plant with South Korea's state-run Korea Hydro and Nuclear Power. The contract will assess the suitability of the Buyenda region, one of the candidate sites for new nuclear construction. The evaluation of a suitable site for the nuclear plants will evaluate climate, natural disasters, geological hazards, and earthquakes, cooling water sources, and impact of radioactive materials. Uganda targets to build the first nuclear plant with a capacity to generate 1,000 megawatts by the year 2031, and then eventually scale up to 8,400 megawatts by the year 2040. Meanwhile, a $7 billion green e-methanol plant in Texas faces uncertainty as U.S. Congress debates clean energy tax credits, particularly for hydrogen production. HIF Global awaits the outcome crucial for competing with other global producers. The Trump administration's hostility towards green energy, including post-Green New Deal funds, adds to the complexity. While clean energy investments saw a slight recent dip and some manufacturing projects were cancelled, the impact of the Trump administration's policies remains unclear. Finally, the number of vehicles manufactured in the UK fell sharply last month as US tariffs and the timing of Easter hit production. The 59,203 vehicles made was the lowest April output for more than 70 years, with the exception of 2020 when production effectively stopped during the COVID lockdown. The Society for Motor Manufacturers and Traders said a wider change in the industry as it shifts from petrol cars to electric vehicles had also temporarily reduced output. The industry group says new trade deals with the US, EU and India may help boost upcoming production.
Let's get sporty, shall we? Harambee Stars captain Michael Olunga has departed Qatari Stars League side Al Duhail Sports Club after 4 years at the Qatari club. Olunga was previously featuring for Kashiwa Resols, a Japanese club, before he made his move to the Qatari side. The striker joined Al Duhail Sports on a 3-season contract from Japan. The former Thika United and Gor Mahia striker is set to leave the club after becoming club's all-time leading goal scorer with 130 goals in all the competitions. He scored 75 goals in 8 league appearances for the club. Olunga has posted on his social media platforms about his decision to part ways with Al Duhail. Now, away from that, we go on to another story where the British men #1 Jack Draper defeated Gael Monfils in the second round of the French Open in memorable four-set thriller at the Court Philippe Chatrier in Paris. To beat the French Open third round. Preparations are in top gear ahead of the 23rd edition of the East Africa Secondary School Games, which will be held from the 12th to 25th of August in Kakamega County. About 5,000 participants drawn from the East African nations are expected to grace the event, which was held in Bukede, Uganda last year, according to the East Africa Secondary School Games Federation President Justus Mugisha. The association wants to increase the number of disciplines from 15 to 20 in the forthcoming edition so as to involve more young people in sports. The disciplines to be contested includes, among others, rugby 15s, basketball, handball, hockey, football, volleyball, lacrosse, and beach volleyball.
Our plan actually is to have all the sports, because we want to give the children of East Africa as many options as possible. For now, we have been participating in 15 different category sports, but now, just by the decisions we have made today, we are now improving it to 20 different sports. But we shall continue going higher. And by the way, East Africa, we are members of International School Sport, and later this year, we are going to participate in the International School Sport Golf Tournament, a World Cup for schools that is going to take place in Morocco.
Mega is ready, Kenya is ready, and I'm also impressed that for the first time we are going to have guest teams that will increase the participation to over 10 countries. We expect, apart from the traditional East African countries, we have also invited as guests over 12 countries from the rest of Africa. We are looking forward to a successful championship. More so, the increase and expanding of activities, the coming in of lacrosse, the coming in of cricket, the coming in of beach football, beach volleyball for both girls and boys. Though some are on trial basis, I'm sure it's expanding and giving more opportunities to our youths to participate in many games and excel all round.
Now, curtains of the 2024-2025 Kenya Handball League are expected to come down on 2nd June and starting during the weekend in both Kaloleni and Nyayo Stadium for both men and women.